There we go. Good morning, friends. It's Saturday. This is the last day of the week that I work out. I take Sundays for my roll. Thank you. My roll and replenish and stretch out day. I roll out a little bit every day, but tomorrow we'll make a video of like my long rollout session that I do on Sundays. So today we're going to do a 30-minute workout that is 10 minutes of cardio followed by 10 minutes of upper body followed by 10 minutes of lower body, just to kind of give everything one more time through spiciness without blitzing out anything too much, because if you've been working out with us all week, you may in fact be joining us in kind of extreme soreness. So here we go. We're going to start with our warm-up. You ready, Miss Ruby?
Yep.
We're going to start stretching across here in our second and lunge. You can do various arms with this. You can twist through, or you can hit second the way that we do sometimes. This is all.
You can just skip by if you want to.
This one's killing me today. My core, my back, the muscles around my spine are like all done. If I were doing these workouts just for myself, I would have just done lower body today, because my lower body is
You're trying to get healthy and
sore
strong.
too, but not so whiny. Yes, we are. We're staying healthy and strong while we are.
It's the job well done.
Remember, you can releve this when your feet and ankles feel ready, or you can jump it. But make sure you do at least 4 to 8 of just plie and straighten before you intensify to anything else to warm up your hips, your knees, your ankles. Come to the end of your mat for plank work. Breathe up and down. Step back into a long lunge. And like I always say, you can start with me doing some dynamic movement to warm up and open up my hips. I like to start with 4.
Or you could do
kind of presses down.
You could do the foot switch right away, or you could do it like Mom is doing.
That's right. And then I switch to 2. Again, when I'm doing this for myself. And then I start to peel. Peel.
It's very appealing. It's very appealing.
One more each side. Find your plank. Walk it back to forward fold. Bend your knees a little up. Normally I would encourage you to drop your head there. But I have a sinus infection, so I'm not gonna suggest that. If you've got your weights, you can take them in your hands and put them to your hips. Come to first position and start by stepping out to second, first, other leg out to second. Now today,
I forgot to set my watch.
is about cardio. Your watch counts your activity whenever you do it, Miss Ruby.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell it you're exercising. Down here. You can bring your arms out to second as you do this as an intensifier. You can jump this. All right, jump open. Jump open. Jump open. You can also, if you're super strong, you can open here to second, right? Here. Here. That's like the most intense. Do 2 more. 1 more.
I can do it without even getting tired.
Awesome. Hang on to your weights if you want them, if you're like me. And you're all done with those. Put those down. Try this attitude across yourself. Step, step attitude. This is nice and intense all by itself. And then of course you can jump this. Jump, jump, jump. If you've got that in you. One more time here. And one more time on the other side.
Jump.
If you've still got your weights, bring them here. We're gonna come to a second position
And cross
and
your
step
legs
back
and throw them out.
into a curtsy lunge, is what that's called. I'd like to do 2 down and touch, 2 down. We're gonna start with a small kick. And like I've said on other videos, here's my touch. If you don't have to, if you can do your kick and then go back into the curtsy lunge right away, do that. I forgot it's supposed to be a tiny kick. I have to have the balance moment of kicking. Here, so we're going here, here, touch, here, here, medium, here, here, large, back to here. Touch, come to the other side. And press down. You can also, when you're doing these, when you do your largest, highest développé, you can open your arms here, okay? Touch, pulse, pulse, a little higher, pulse, pulse, large développé, back to pulse, pulse, touch, pulse, pulse, medium,
A long, cold.
long one, touch, largest one, here, here, touch, here, here, medium, last, big one, 1, 2, large. If you've still got your weights, that's great.
1, 2,
We're going to reach,
1,
step behind ourselves.
1, 2.
Can you move back to your mat, please, so that I don't have to watch to see if you're gonna kick me? Thank you. You can come across and touch and back here. And this can just be like a demi-point touch on the ground while I reach out my arm, and it might have a weight in it if I wanted to take time.
Great laughter.
If you wanted to take time right now, if I wanted to take time to get my weights, I could do that. Then you can make this bigger and turn it into a little jump, where you're still touching in the back, so there's a little rock step. Or you can land on one foot, land on one foot, land on one foot, land on one foot. I'm doing the wrong arm. No, I'm not. Out, out, out. Pause, like a jeté. Like a jeté. You can still have your weights if you want them. We're gonna do that open arabesque, chasse, open arabesque, chasse, open arabesque, chasse. Here. And of course, as usual, you can jump this off the ground if you want. And you can also beat it, if you can, like a cabriole. Do one more over here. Come center. If you've got your weights, bring them up to second. Bring your feet to first. Lifting attitude marches. Men's class is very familiar with these. You can open and close your arms with those. You can jump these. You can bring the arm into opposition. You then change it to a knee. This is just like a fitness knee to elbow.
I'm a feisty one.
More. That's all. Whew.
I'm a feisty one.
You sure are. Take a tiny break. Get yourself a drink of water or hydrate. Whatever you're drinking.
Gatorade, water, Energize. Coffee.
Come to, this is a little bit like the skater jump jeté that we were just doing, but it's meant as a little cool down. You stretch, curtsy lunge. We're keeping our heart rate going because it was just really high, but we're bringing it down. Because we're gonna move on to upper body in a moment. When you can take that to a smaller movement, do that. Let your heart rate come down gradually. We don't want it to come down all the way like we're going to a cool down because we're not. But we do want to bring it down a tiny bit. Towel yourself off if you need to.
Oh, fresh water from the fridge.
Yeah.
Oh, this feels so good. Now you might notice it's a little bit longer because we're doing every kind of workout.
I heard we're doing a little cardio, a little upper body, and a little lower body.
Well, that little bit.
Find your weights if you put them down, and we're going to do some second position extensions with them. So when I extend, I'm in that position that in a ballet class we don't want, and lots of us call it fake-a-besque. Fake-a-besque. It's not second because my knee is not pointed towards the ceiling, and I'm not showing you the inner thigh of my leg. I'm showing you the top of my leg. My knee's pointed at you, but it is not behind my body. Not at all, so it is not an arabesque. It is a very useful place for working the gluteal muscles. It is a place that when your leg gets in that plane, you can squeeze those things very nicely. Come center with those and stretch here and here. Lengthening through your waist. And if you can see yourself in a mirror, trying to make a straight line with our arms here. And here, bring those centers.
This is the best workout ever.
Are you being serious or have you broken down into silly?
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for rejoining us. We're gonna come down. I've folded my mat over because I know I'm gonna do push-ups, so now you know you're gonna do push-ups. You can come down onto your knees, and you've got lots of positions for this, but please make sure you're safe. The one of the push-ups that you can do that is modified is to get your knees under your hips and your hands under your shoulders. I told you in another video that that's one of the things I struggle with. If I don't look at myself in the mirror and listen to what my body wants to do, it wants to be out here. But if I were my student, I would fix it. I would say, no, it's got to be under your shoulders for a variety of body mechanical reasons. Okay, so you can be here, middle fingers pointed straight forward, and then you can push up. Okay, you can push up there. You can also move into knee plank where you're creating a straight line from the crown of your head to your knees, and then my middle fingers are still pointed straight forward, and I'm pushing up and down. Okay, you can also do a full plank here and push up. I can't do a full push-up in this position. Okay, those are your three options. Do 8 push-ups, take a break, and then do 8 more. And then come up out of that position into forward fold You need to keep working. Always do something, even if, for example, Miss Rubí, you just stand up tall and hold second position. That's a lot of work. Becomes a lot of work very quickly. I want you to take both of your arms straight out in front of you. As you look at me in profile, my arms are here, out at shoulder height. And I'm gonna bring one up and down and up and down. Squeeze your chest muscles together when you do this and extend the whole arm. Check your second position. I'm tired today because it's my day before my rest day. I'm my most depleted. So I keep finding myself up high in my second, and then I have to come back down. Bring those center again and try the other one. Remember, Miss Rubí, that if you're tired, you don't have to do the arms at all. Just hold yourself in a plie second. And try that. Just put your hands on your hips if you want to even. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It is up and down. Here. Straighten up for just a moment. The next arm movement that we're going to do, I'm going to show you from the side. We're going to bring our arms up to shoulder height, but my arms are in front of my body. They're not back here. I'm going to turn my hands so that my palms are facing the back of the room, and I'm going to press this way. But even here, I'm only going to press to in line with my body in profile, okay? Forward, press, press. When you press back, I want you to squeeze all your ballet port de bras muscles in your back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. There, okay? Now, you, in all actual fact, hold this second position here and press and press and press. This actually, holding the second while I do these particular arms, makes it easier for me. So if it does for you, there you go. You can also put your weights down. This is plenty difficult without the weights. Whew, these are only 2 pounds. But they also, with or without them, they make a big difference. Come to your long lunge. I'm thinking about it because I want to use my weak leg first. So I'm going to put my left leg in the back first. I'm going to be in a long lunge and bend my front knee. I have my arms beside my, one of my favorite trainers says, in your hip pocket, okay? We're going to keep our elbows straight and our arms are going to lift as we bring our torso forward. We're going to lift there, start the lift, and then we're going to come to an arabesque. This is a parallel position, so this is a lot more like, for those of you who know yoga, this is a lot more like warrior 3, and that's the goal there. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Ooh, we're still squeezing. Little lifts. Oh my goodness. I'm going to regain my balance and we're going to do 4 more. Losing your balance. Even if you only had 1 more to do, I want you to find your balance and do that last one. If you lose your balance, come to center. Find that little fake arabesque again. Put the opposite arm in front of you, the other one behind. Do a little, it's just like a little dancey, shake it out moment. You okay?
Yeah.
Stretch and stretch. We're just charging our heart rate up a little bit while we also sort of shake out our legs, which may not be very happy right now. Take a little break. Get a drink.
I don't want a drink.
Have you had quite a bit to drink, Miss Rubí?
Yeah.
That's okay then. Everyone has their own style of drinking. Some people just like to drink a whole bunch.
Last time when I was facing down and doing this, I almost puked up.
Oh, that's not good. Some people like to drink all at once. They like to get really thirsty and then guzzle kind of halfway through their workout. I like to sip throughout. That is slightly better for your cells if you can do that. But I know that for some of us, it is difficult to, drink water because we just don't want to. Join me here. I've got my elbows tucked into my body My arms are turned out. I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see me there. All right. And I am elevating up and down in first position. That's right, up and down. Really working, being very intentional.
Jump it.
No, we're not jumping this. Thanks for suggesting that, but this one's not a jump. This one is an elevate, and I want you to focus on your gluteal muscles, your hamstrings, the back of your calves, your Achilles tendon, and your feet, all the way down the back of you, lifting and lowering. Make that lowering not just a relaxation boom, into gravity, but resist coming down
Gravity works.
and lowering and pressing up and pressing down. Whew. Oh, take a tiny break if you need to stretch the back of your leg like I do. Take a short moment to do that. This isn't, we wouldn't call this like an actual proper stretch, but it is lengthening the muscle in the opposite direction that you were just contracting it so that it will stop spasming. If yours isn't spasming, great, but mine are. Whew. That is so spicy when you take the plie out and you just rely on all of those muscles that power us up and power us down. It really isolates some spicy things for us. Oh, that's the end of our upper body section. And now we're gonna move on to a lower body section in our last section for today. Whew. Oh. You still need your mat. You will need your bar for this section. Not to start with, but you will need it if you're wondering, are we gonna use a bar today? We are, yes, gonna use a bar or a wall or a chair. If you're using a chair, make sure that it's a sturdy chair. Okay, it needs to not be, I'm not using a chair. We have chairs here. We have chairs at my house. None of them do I really love for bar. In fact, I may go shopping on Facebook Marketplace and
what about the couch?
look for a chair that has nothing to do with interior design and has everything to do with that will actually work for what I want to do. Because I found some workouts from other ballet companies for their men's class where you put your feet on the chair and do all sorts of crazy stuff that I would really like to try with all of you. We're going to need a better chair than the ones I've got here. Now, we were already in our plank once today, but we're gonna go back there. I'm gonna fold up my mat again because I know that this next exercise I need to do on my knees, but I will demonstrate it on my toes so that you know. I know a lot of you don't need that modification. So take a deep breath up and down. Walk your hands out and step out into a long lunge. This is not a long lunge, Miss Stephanie, it's a full plank. And you can lift one foot and pulse it 4 times, keeping the hips square. And the knee and the top of the foot pointed at the floor. Keep going with that. I'm gonna modify. If you need to modify, like me, you do knee plank and then you extend one and do the same 4 squeezes. Extend one, same 4 squeezes. Whew. Again, watch your lower back here. This is not about trying to bend in your lower back. Okay. One more. Come find your forward fold. And roll up out of that. I'm going to take my mat over to my bar. I said the other day in one of these videos that here we go. That I like to work when I'm going to do elevate work like I'm about to do right now. I like to stand on my mat to do that because it cushions my slightly older dancer feet that don't have a lot of cushion anymore. Start with that elevate that we were just doing, up and down, just to warm things up. And do a port de bras in both directions. And then stay up. Bring your first position in a tiny bit and plie in it. But look at my feet. In a first position in a ballet bar, you would rise and then you would force to arch there. Your heels are absolutely not touching. In this particular bar exercise this is a ballet fitness movement, we're not in first position forced arch. We actually have our heels together and we are in that pleated position. Our heels are off the ground and touching. This just brings your base in a little bit narrower and does all sorts of really challenging things to your stabilization muscles. It should be turning on some things for you that make your body go, oh, I can't hold this position. My muscles are good at holding the slightly wider one. Okay, so it's isolating some muscles that we don't use very often. And we're doing tiny pulses up and down. Stretch up out of that. Take a tiny break. Ooh, we're gonna go back to it. But if you're like me, whoa, my legs were shaking and I was gonna have to fall on camera, so I'm gonna take a tiny break. If you need more from this, before you get into this position, you can put your resistance loop or your tied up TheraBand into around your lower thighs. I'm gonna bring my first in narrow and touch my heels together and come back down into that plie place. I'm using my natural turnout to make sure that my knees are tracking over my toes still. That part of first position rule still applies. We want to protect our bodies there. Come on up out of that. Whew. Spicy. Whew. Oh, bring your mat back. If you move it back to center. You're all done with the bar for a moment. There we go. And I want to revisit those développés that we did earlier. These ones that start touch, curtsy lunge, développé, and remind you, we're doing another set of those here, and I'm gonna do touch and expand, touch and expand. Okay, so I've taken out the middle one. Touch, expand, touch, and expand. Up, that you can also releve this expansion there. Touch, one more. Other side, down, touch, down, expand. Center and up. You can also take out this touch and make them all full leg extensions so that you're just going curtsy lunge, extend, curtsy lunge, extend. Come center, take a tiny breath, bring your heart rate down a bit because we're gonna get onto the floor. It's a little bit difficult teaching to nobody because I only have my own experience for when we need to take a break and get a drink of water. When I'm teaching in a class, I'm carefully watching all of my students and I'm thinking about, oh, this combination is difficult but just right, or oh, this combination is too difficult, they're pooping out on me, or oh, they need a break, we can keep going with this but they need a break. But I can't see any of you, so if I'm taking a break when you don't need a break, just fast forward me. If I haven't taken a break and you need one, pause me. You can get your resistance band if you want it. If you're gonna have it, you need the bigger one. Okay. bigger one. And I'm gonna put it around my lower thighs, and I'm going to do some work on the mat, on the floor, on my stomach. So I'm gonna lay prone on the ground. And I'm gonna start with an exercise that we saw earlier in the week, which is knees parted, heels together, flexed ankles, flexed feet, flexed toes. And then, I apologize, you can't see my head, but I'm gonna put my forehead on my hands on the ground, and I'm gonna lift up, trying to press the soles of my feet onto the ceiling as though it were a dance floor. Okay, so I'm pressing up there. Can you see that? Press, press. This is not about rocking up your heels like you're trying to touch the back of your head. Okay, that's gonna take it into the lower back, and we do not want that to happen. Up. I find these tremendously difficult. Up. And difficult, like coordination-wise, I think is what I mean. Like my brain, rest, can't figure out how to tell my body to do that. Stay here in this position, lengthen your legs. My feet are still apart, probably about hip distance apart. And now I'm going to lift the whole enchilada. I've got my legs parted enough that I'm creating tension in my resistance band. And then I'm squeezing. And now I'm really having to focus. I can tighten my core. I can pull my belly button back towards my spine, and I can lengthen in my lower back so that this goes into my glutes and my hamstrings. Keep it up there. Find that place. Again, if you are like me and you need to stabilize your core so that this doesn't go into your lower back, that is a waste of your time. So don't do that. Take time to do that. And then open and close tiny pulses while you hold those legs up off the ground. If you start to lose your form and you can't hold your abdominal wall closed, if you can't keep the lower back long, you need to stop. If it starts to go into your lower back, stop. 4, 3, 2, 1. Ooh, everybody stop. Oh, push back into a child's pose. Before you do your child's pose, you could take off your resistance band, but mine isn't bothering me, so I'm just going to
A child.
restore here. This is extended child's pose. Extended because your arms are out in front of you. This is wonderful for your body. It's a very restorative pose. Parting your knees usually makes it more comfortable for people, and will open up your hips more anyway. So all the ballerinas were like, well, we'll do that one then. Oh. Forehead to the floor. Hands start out in front of you, just as though we were going to do a push-up. We're not, I promise. Fingertips, middle fingers pointed straight out.
Ooh.
What is that?
Oh. Look, my watch is like.
Oh. Oh. Come up out of that.
I think it.
Can you come here so I can make it stop doing that?
I think it's telling me.
Quickly. Thank you. Whew. Take off your resistance band if you haven't done it already. You made it. You made it through our kind of salad workout today. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, if you've still got your weighted vest on, if you're a weighted vest girl,
Take it off.
go ahead and take that off. A weighted vest is not a good thing when you're stretching a little bit, which is what we're going to do now. Oh, you can bring your arms open and stretch slightly to the side.
All right, Danny, can I roll up my mat?
You may roll up your mat, but I'm going to stretch with my friend, so if you can keep it to a dull roar, that would be great. Twist in the spine. Roll down. Normally, again, here, I would encourage you to drop your head and look through your legs, and I would ask you to shake your head yes and shake your head no, but I have a sinus infection. So you do all those things I just said, but I am gonna break form today in deference to another part of my body. Because if I have to lower my head right now upside down, I will probably cry on camera. Oh, I'm treading in my weight right to left to loosen up my hamstrings and my hips and my low back, and that feels glorious. And then I'm gonna walk my hands around to one side and stretch again through that side for those of you like me that are still sore on your sides and in the muscles around your spine from core on was that just Thursday? No wonder I'm still sore. It's only been like 48 hours. Bend your knees and roll up. See, now that my head is above my hips, I can tip it over all the way. Bring your feet together and give yourself a little breath in and breath out. Because if you did these workouts in order, you just made it through a 6 workout week with me. Well done. Tomorrow we will roll out extensively. If you've got a foam roller, you're gonna be in luck. If you don't have a foam roller, I've already made a video that's like maybe 20 minutes long of sort of a head to toe yoga based stretch out that is specifically designed to release sore muscles and get things moving again, improving circulation. It's important even on your rest day to still move your body. See you tomorrow.